Slippy?
Yeah. Slippery and everything. You had to wash it.
Yeah. Freezing rain up there, place since like 3 o'clock.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Slippy
Was it home too?
I think there's freezing rain down here too, was there? Sheriff?
Yeah,
Already is?
so.
Okay, would everybody sign in, please? We'll call this meeting of council, and we'll start as usual with a moment of silence to pray or as you wish, so that we may better be able to do the business of the county this evening. Thank you. I want to acknowledge that we're on the ancestral territory of the Mi'kmaq people, and I want to thank the Mi'kmaq people of today for welcoming and helping our ancestors, whether they came 400 years ago or 4 years ago. We are all treaty people. Now, the approval of the agenda. Before I get to the approval of the agenda, we're going to flip the correspondence and the proclamation. The proclamations, 2 of them will come, and then the correspondence after that. So with that change, would somebody like to make a motion? Okay, and a seconder?
Second.
Moved and seconded that we adopt the agenda with that one change. Now, we have our minutes from the same date, but the public meeting and the in-camera meeting. Are there, on the public meeting, are there any errors or omissions in the public meeting of January 12th? Any errors or omissions in the public meeting January 12th? One last time, any errors or omissions from the January 12th meeting? Hearing none, I declare those approved as presented. And then there's the in-camera for January 12th. Any errors or omissions in those minutes? Any errors or omissions? One last time, any errors or omissions? Okay, we'll declare those minutes approved as well. And now we'll move on to the proclamations. Get my paper straight here. So the first proclamation is to declare this month of February as African Heritage Month. Running over something around here. Close enough to see. Whereas this year's African Heritage Month's provincial theme is Strength in Unity, Moving Forward with Purpose, Prosperity, Power, and Progress. The theme speaks to the power that comes when African Nova Scotians and people of African descent stand together with a shared sense of direction. Whereas the 2026 theme also reflects the continued journey beyond the United Nations International Decade for the people of African descent, carrying forward the principles of recognition, justice, and development. Strength in Unity calls upon us to harness our collective wisdom, resilience, and creativity to build prosperity in all its forms, cultural, socioeconomic, and spiritual. Whereas African Heritage Month provides an opportunity for all Nova Scotians to learn, reflect, and celebrate the history, culture, achievements, and contributions of people of African descent, past and present. Therefore be it resolved, the municipality of the County of Pictou proclaims the month of February as African Heritage Month, and we encourage all residents to partake in events and celebrations taking place throughout the county and province. Dated the 2nd day of February, 2026 in Pictou, Nova Scotia, signed by myself, Warden Robert Parker. And I might add, before I move on to the next proclamation, that February, I think it's the 3rd, Wednesday, that'd be tomorrow. No, maybe it's the 4th. Anyway, there's a African Heritage Month celebration at the, no, it's not at Glasgow Square this time, it usually is, it's at Summer Street Industries. So, you know, anybody is welcome to come to that. It's always one of the most joyous events I go to every year. everybody's in a good mood, and that's a good thing. But I don't know. Maybe Adam can correct me. I don't know if it's the 3rd or the 4th. It is the 4th. Okay. Brian brought it up here. It's the 4th. So yeah, add 11:45. By the way, yeah, that's important because then you get something to eat. Okay, our second proclamation, and I'm pleased to have some ladies with us from all from the Lions Brook Women's Institute, and I even have their names: Christine McKenzie, and Fran Wyman, and Florence Van Veen. I wasn't sure if I had the first name right, but thank you for being here. And we're going to sign the proclamation up here at the chairs in a minute, but I will read the proclamation first. Whereas the first Women's Institute in Nova Scotia was formed in 1913 in Salt Springs, Nova Scotia, Pictou County. Whereas for 113 years, the Women's Institutes have provided Nova Scotian women with opportunities to improve the quality of life for women and children in their local and global communities through community service, education, and personnel and leadership development. Therefore be it resolved that I, Robert Parker, Warden for the Municipality of the County of Pictou, do hereby proclaim the week of February the 15th to the 21st, 2026, as Women's Institute Week in Pictou County, dated the 2nd day of February 2026 in Pictou, Nova Scotia, and it will be signed in a minute. So Christine, you're going to come up and help me with this? Chair doesn't get along with this one.
You like both sides.
Yeah, it's just the wheel gets stuck. So we're at that correspondence now. Okay, I'm going to let the Deputy Warden take over for this next section.
Thank you. Item number 7 is correspondence. The first one is 7-1, letter from the Department of Education and Early Childhood Development regarding milk in schools. Any comments on the letter that we received back? Go ahead, Councillor Dewar.
I read the letter a couple of times. It just seemed like one outfit was blaming it on the other outfit, and we never got an answer, and we never got the milk. So, I guess it's their way of handling it, but it didn't seem satisfactory to me, the letter we got. But that's just my opinion. Maybe other people have other opinions about it. Thank you.
I got the same thinking from that letter. So the Dairy Farmers of Federation of Dairy Farmers of Canada, they reached out to us and asked, they said they would come to a meeting for us. So we'll follow up on that at some point. Okay. Any other questions in that letter? Okay. Hearing none. 7-2, letter from Eric Silville regarding proposal power plant in Salt Springs. Warden Parker, you were wanting to talk on this? Or Donnie? Okay, go ahead, Donnie.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Warden. I don't know if everybody read this letter that Eric Seville sent along to us here, but I've known Eric most of my life here. I worked with him down at the pulp mill for years. Real standout gentleman from the Salt Springs area. But I want to talk about this new gas plant. It's going to be built up there. It's a pretty well done thing because the province has already gone ahead with it. He doesn't want it in his community for all kinds of good reasons. But there's approximately 40 to 50 houses in that area within 1 to 2 kilometers where this plant's going to go. Water's probably the biggest issue because they're going to use 25,000 gallons an hour, and there's not a great deal of water there, I don't believe. But my thoughts are they should pick a site further up the pipeline where there's no freaking houses and in the woods. There's lots of pipeline, there's lots of woods. And then you wouldn't be right on top of these 40 or 50 houses. That's just my thoughts. I know there's an extra cost to run a transmission line down to where the main grid is there in Salt Springs. But I think it's worth that extra cost because this is like 30 plus years you're looking at here, long time. And it seems minor to me. I don't know if it costs them $2 or $3 million or more, but it seems worth it. But I said at a previous meeting I wouldn't want this 800 meters behind my house either. So that's why I feel it should be moved away from all these nearby homes. And this is almost a done deal because the environmental permit's all done on February 9th, I believe. But I think there's lots of locations that it could go that are better than the spot that they picked. I know we have to have it because it has to replace this coal. Coal's going out, so it has to be gone by 2030, the coal, so this is why it's coming in. But I think they should have consulted us, council, elected council members. They could have consulted us and said, well, where's a good spot? It has to be on the pipeline, but whereabouts? And we could have picked a spot that wasn't right on top of 40 or 50 houses. And but anyhow, I'm just going to leave that as it is, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thanks, Donnie. Mr. Warden?
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Warden. So I felt it important to turn the chair over to Councillor Murray because I had some things I wanted to say tonight about this issue of the gas generating proposed plant in Salt Springs, and the one in Marsdale I don't know as much about, and I'll leave that to Councillor Dewar if he wishes to say anything on that one. But the one in Salt Springs affects a lot of people, as my brother Donnie said. And when I first heard about it, I thought, well, that's another one of these government things where there's not much can be done about it. They've made up their mind, they're going to do it. And that may still be very well right, but I don't think it's necessarily be that we can't at least try to speak on behalf of the people that are affected. Their lone voices don't say too much. You know, they can speak out at public meetings or whatever, but as a council, at least we have a stronger voice. And I think they expect us to at least speak for them. Whether we're successful or not would remain to be seen, but to at least speak for them. The two that sent the letters, and it was my mistake that Ms. McKay's didn't go out at the same time, but anyway, it did go out today for everybody to have a look at. These are both seniors in their 80s. I better not guess at that, but I think so. And anyway, they're speaking from the heart. They're not scientists. They're just plain regular folk, what I would call them, who are very concerned and very upset that their community is going to change. It's going to change a lot, no matter how many nice words you put around it. Or they do have a, what they call it, a community liaison committee, which allows people to ask them questions. You can't change anything, but you can ask questions and get answers. And so some people, quite a few, have agreed to join that. But there's another group that simply want us to try and see if we can't make maybe even a minor change, like my brother Donnie was talking about, where you simply moved up the pipeline a mile or two and you get back in the woods where there's really hardly any homes for a long period up there. It would mean extending the power line a little bit. It would mean extending the road a bit. But this is a $1 billion project. So we're talking peanuts, really, when we're talking about some of those changes that would make a big difference in the lives of the people there. So I'm going to make a motion. Am I allowed to make a motion because I'm out of the chair? I am, okay. I'm going to make a motion just to put it on the table and let each person decide whether it's worth pursuing or not. A motion to invite to these chambers here in front of council the top people. I think one of them is Joey Johnson. I think the top people at IESO, which the government only created a few months ago, but to invite them and the top people from the Department of Energy that had input with IESO to make this decision to this chambers here so that we can ask the questions and get the answers as to are there possible alternatives to what's on the table now. I know they're down the schedule ways and they want to hurry, but people were left out of this process. They simply were told that because the pipeline crosses with the power line there, it has to be there. And there needs to be a better discussion than that in order for those people to at least know what the answers are coming from them. So that's my motion, is to invite those people that are listed to this chamber as soon as possible so that we can ask questions on behalf of the people of the Salt Springs area.
Okay,
And I can add Marshdale area to that motion.
okay, it's regularly moved and seconded. Any further questions on the motion? Who's up there, Robert? I haven't got the, who's first?
Oh, Chester,
Chester?
yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Warden. I attended the meeting that was in Eureka that night, and I brought regrets from our warden because he was here at another meeting with the municipal affairs people that night, and he couldn't be there. Any questions that were asked, they really didn't have any answers. It was almost like the letter we got about the milk. They were all very nice to you, but nobody found out anything about the water. Because there isn't enough water in Marshdale, they're going to try another more expensive deal, they said, and nobody really knew what that was. There was different people from the community there, but not the amount of people from the community I thought would be there. There were mostly their employees answering the questions and just sitting around the tables like them other days we were there. So there was no hard fact insurances about the water, and that's the most important thing, is the water. And even they said, well, they could go and see how much water they got now, and if it's a spring or if it's a borehole, and what the pressure and what all this and this and this and this is. Well, that's fine, but you gotta have a contract to say that that's gonna happen down the road. Like if, once the water goes dry, talk's no good at a meeting at the Eureka Fire Hall. It has to be signed, a contract, and I think having these people come here, it's gonna be after the fact. I got the environmental study delivered to the house today. It's 91 pages. If anybody wants some light reading, it's that thick. There's one at the post office, and a few other people have them around, and
There's one here.
there's one here, and there's one at the store, John's store, and but anyway, moving it over there, I think that's a great idea to get it away from the people. There's not many people where I live, but they're worried about the roads up there now because of all the traffic and everything that's gonna happen coming from this place and going. The roads aren't good enough, they'd have to be paved, or people won't be able to live up there with the dust and the commotion that's going on. But you fellas know about that anyway. But anyway, it's just like a lot of things. When there's a rush on to get something done, that's hoping that it's gonna get done quick and there won't be a whole lot of more talk about it. And these two people that, Mr. Sybil and Karen McKay, I would think, or the way I know of them, those are two of the better or best community people they have in that area. And if they think it's important enough to send a letter to council, I think it's important enough that we have them invited to this meeting as well. Thank you.
Okay, any further questions? Councillor Donnie Parker.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm just gonna agree with Chester there. Those are two outstanding citizens of our area community, Eric and his wife Lee, and Karen and Stratton McKay. They're just, they're just super nice people. As they go to this length to write a letter, they feel kind of helpless is what they feel. They don't know what to do. So they're writing to us, even though we have nothing to do with this, it's provincial, but we're a voice for we're the closest to them, as they say, as elected local councilor, we're here to represent them, so that's what we're trying to do. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Warden.
Thank you. Any further questions? Okay, everyone in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion's carried. Thank you.
Thank
Back over to
you.
you.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Warden. So we're now down to our presentation. I believe we are. Heather is with us, Heather Murphy tonight, and so she's going to present the 2024-25 financial statements, which were presented to the Audit Committee the other night, and now she's going to present the same thing here. Go ahead, Heather.
Thank you. Good evening. So as Warden almost called you Parker. I almost called you Mr. Fraser. As Warden Parker alluded to, we did go through these financial statements with the Audit Committee and in great detail. So it's my hope that I will just focus on some of the highlights within the financial statements, but I'm certainly willing to dive into details if there's any questions. So the financial statements you have are for a period ending March 31st, 2025. The first page, the management's responsibility for financial reporting. This report is where the county takes ownership, if you will, of the financial statements. Page 2 and 3 is the audit report. And on this audit report, we render our opinion, as well as, of course, outlining our responsibilities to carry out the audit, as well as management and governance, the government's responsibility within these financial statements as well. Our opinion does remain unchanged from previous periods, where, in our opinion, the accompanying financial statements present fairly in all material respects the financial position of the county as at March 31st, 2025, and its results of operations and its cash flows for the year then ended in accordance with the Canadian public sector accounting policies. Turning to page 4 is the consolidated statement of financial position. And on this statement, it will represent the assets and liabilities of all of the funds that are being administered by the municipality of the County of Pictou for periods ending March 31st, 2025, with a comparative of March 31st, 2024. The financial assets equating to $25.7 million, made up of cash, resources, some amounts receivable from residents through taxes and other types of receivables, and receivables from other government sources, so those being both federal and provincial. In terms of the financial liabilities at March 31st, those equated to $48.4 million, of which, of course, included some amounts payable, those representing amounts paid after the fiscal year end, as well as some financing that was outstanding, both from the short-term debt of $13.5 million and a long-term debt, and that being a debenture that was put into place during the fiscal period, equating to $28 million. The debenture, of course, relating to the internet project. There are some other deferred revenue and capital grants that will be subsequently recognized when those capital projects are carried out. This leads to a net financial liability position of $22.6 million. The other assets that are owned by the County of Pictou are $98.9 million of capital assets. That is the infrastructure, that being both the general government infrastructure, the water infrastructure, and the internet infrastructure. And some other types of other non-financial assets being, of course, investments, albeit small, and prepaid expenses. The overall position of the municipality of the County of Pictou at March 31st, 2025 is $76.8 million. Page 5 is a consolidated statement of financial activities. This is going to represent the revenues and expenses that the county carried out or recognized during the fiscal period, with, of course, the budget comparisons and your prior year actual comparisons. The revenue sources generated $34.4 million in revenue, of which, of course, the majority of that being taxes levied to residents, amounts that were collected for other on behalf of others, including, of course, the school board, and some other internal generated revenues. Some other significant source of revenues is around $11 million for grants for capital purposes. These are recognized to the extent they relate to the capital projects carried out during the fiscal period. In terms of expenditures equated to $29.2 million during the fiscal period. And of course, those expenditures include those general government services. Those are those costs, mainly for administrative purposes. Protective services, including police and fire. Transportation services, environmental health, environmental development, recreation, cultural services, water utility services, internet costs, and some other transfers and grants. So those equated to the $29.2 million, leading to a net surplus being recognized this year of $5.2 million. That again brings the county's position at March 31st, 2025 to a position of $76.8 million. Page 6.
Just excuse
Oh,
me.
sorry.
Question for Councillor
I'm
Turner.
sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On the expenditure side of things, we have an actual of $6.8 million in terms of monies going towards the internet services, but there's no budget line for that.
Correct.
That's not a good position to be in terms of accounting. So that's a risk or a deficiency that's in our process. So is there a recommendation about budgeting in terms of the internet service?
Yes. So there has been provided business plans that have been approved and being administered and monitored, but there's no technical budget that has been brought to the council level for approval to the same degree, of course, that you do with your general operating budgets and your water operating budgets. That same parameter isn't being carried out with the internet, and that's why there can't be one represented, obviously, on the audited financial statements.
And you recommend that
I believe it's in the management of that.
It is.
Yeah, so your recommendation is that there be a budget put
Yes,
together.
it would certainly give council more of a benchmarking and your plan of what it should look like to carry out those types of expenditures and have something that you can measure it against. Mhm.
Okay, no further questions right now, so, oh, sorry, go ahead, Councillor Thompson.
Okay, thank you. Couple things. Looking at note 12 there that you had there on the loans at $28 million that debenture that we have. Is that, does that interest cost of borrowing show up in our statement here?
Yes.
Okay.
So the current year cost of the interest is borne in the Internet Operating Fund. So you'll see that on page 36.
Okay, sorry, I don't want to get ahead of you then. I'll
Okay.
leave that alone, but I have one more question on, what do you mean by internet services? And we have an expenditure of $6.8 million. What does that mean?
Okay, so that also will refer to page 36
Okay.
of the financial statements, where you will see the details for the makeup of that 6.8 for expenditures. The operating costs equated to 3.2 million. That included 1.2 million of interest cost. And then, of course, the amortization. So some of the infrastructure is is in operation, so it's now being amortized. So that's the makeup of the 6.8 million.
Okay. Wow, okay, that's all I have for now.
Okay, go ahead, Heather.
Great. Okay, so I believe page 6 is the consolidated statement change of net financial liabilities. This is going to measure those changes within your financial position, mainly relating to capital resources. So there was an increase in that liability for 5.8 million. The consolidated cash statement of cash flow again measures how cash resources are generated and used during the fiscal year. The cash resources increased by 2.2 million. So these previous pages were the consolidated statements, which included the results, of course, of the various funds that are being administered. And the next few pages will show you the impact of each individual fund in isolation. So on page 8, is the general operating fund. So this measures, of course, what's generated for revenues and expenditures within the general operating fund, and those transfers that funded the other funds. So the general operating fund did experience a surplus equating to $48,000. Page 9 is the water operating fund, and this again reports on those revenues and expenses of the water fund, and those amounts transferred to and from other funds. So the water operating fund did experience a loss of $28,000. Page 10 reports on the general capital fund, and this will reflect what was purchased for capital assets by the general fund, and how those capital additions were funded. So for the $378,000 in general capital expenditures, all of which were funded from internal sources. So that being, of course, your general operating fund and various reserve funds. Page 11 is the water capital fund, and again reports on those capital additions and how those were funded. So $983,000, of which were funded from both external and internal sources. Page 12 speaks to the statement of financial position of the Water Capital Fund. This is a schedule that's required to be submitted along with the other schedules to report on those assets and liabilities within the Water Capital Fund. Page 13 speaks to the Water Operating Fund and its individual results. So there was internet revenue generated of around $321,000, operating expenditures $3.2 million. So it did result in a deficit of $2.9 million, and this fund has experienced deficits historically, so it now sits at $4.2 million deficit. And this is again where that interest cost for the debenture will be represented, and it during the last fiscal was $1.2 million. The Water Capital Fund on page 14 again speaks to the expenditures that were generated for capital, $15 million, and those were funded from both external sources, being grants, and the debentures. Page 15 speaks to the reserve funds. So at the bottom of this page, you'll see a list of those reserves that are being maintained. And this schedule, of course, will represent those revenues and expenses that are reflected from those reserves, as well as transfers to and from the other funds. Page 16 is the consolidated statement of property and equipment. Again, shows the value of $98.9 million. That's represented on your statement of financial position, and it is general, internet, and water capital resources, all inclusive in that $98.9 million. Page 17 speaks to, of course, those fund balances and the investment in capital assets to again represent the position of $76.8 million. Page 18, of course, is a disclosure required by the province to provide for a different classification of expenditures. Again, still the same revenues and expenses, just providing for a different formatted disclosure for those numbers. And then you've got the notes to the financial statements. So briefly, 19, 20, 21, through to 22 are all the accounting policies, and those are not many or any significant changes during the fiscal year. Page 23 is the taxes receivable, speaks to those amounts and the collection of those amounts from the residents for taxes, and some other amounts receivable. Page 24, again, some more detailed disclosure around both receivables and some other components. And page 25 speaks to, of course, your contributions to other boards and commissions and the allocation of those area rates that are both levied and related expenditures. Page 26, I know I'm going through these rather quickly. I'll certainly slow down if you'd prefer. Page 26 speaks to the commitments. So those amounts that the county has provided guarantees for, and those are listed here. And on 26, you'll also see the short-term debt, and that's with RBC, some of which, of course, had been repaid during the year with the long-term debt and that debenture that's represented on page 27 on note 12. So this debenture currently has a 3-year term, but of course typically are expected to be refinanced at that time. The remaining disclosures, of course, are your typical annual disclosures that are included. The subsequent schedules are provide for more detailed breakdown and all tie back to the various schedules.
Okay. Thank you, Heather. That was a lot in a hurry, but thank you for presenting it for us. And I'll open the floor up for questions on anything to do with our financial statements. Any questions? Go ahead, Deputy Warden.
Just to put it on the floor, I so move that we accept the financial statements for 2024-25.
Thank you. And do we have a seconder for that motion? Moved and seconded to accept the financial statements of 24-25. And again, I'll ask if there's any further questions on the financial statements. Okay, seeing none. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Councillor Wood.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I did have the letter sent out to all the councillors to make sure you saw what we saw the other night at the meeting, and all the issues that were brought up are definitely things we're working on in the audit committee, namely the property sales tax, the property sales tax, or property sale, the request for more personnel, and a better accounting system for internet, obviously. And then the concern with the business development part, not getting any financials from there for a number of years. So there are things that are on the radar for our audit committee, but again, this is last year's budget. We're passing a budget that was ended in March of 2025. So we should have had it done by September. We haven't hit that date in a number of years, and really had hoped that we would do a better job this year. But unfortunately, it's February, and I think it was March last year, so like maybe a month earlier. But I really would like to see us, as a council, stay on top of this and try to get these done in a more timely fashion. Maybe getting the internet on board with the budget, maybe that will help move some of this along. But it's definitely a cause of concern. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So if there's no more, oh, sorry. Go ahead, Councillor Palmer.
Thank you, Warden. Just wondering, we're looking at setting up a board for the internet project, right? So will that board, will the accounting come off our books and go onto the boards, or it stays with the municipality? It'll stay with the municipality.
Yeah. Brian could speak to that better than I could, but yeah, I think the idea that it has, I thought at first we were going to have it separate, but it appears that it has to be on the same set of books?
Because it would be better if it was separated, because
Throws the numbers.
throws our numbers way
Yeah.
off, right? So that was my concern. And the other concerns, the other thing that I read the letter there this afternoon, and just about the water. Like, are all our customers that have water on meters right now? They're not. So do we read the meters monthly, or do we? I see where it said a lot of them were estimated, right? So.
Who's gonna take that, Brian or Logan? Pardon me?
Doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Thank you for the question. We do have a high number of estimated accounts right now, but we actually have an active water metering tender for water metering upgrades right now. It closes next week, and we expect at that time to have 100% metered services. We currently take meter readings quarterly, so not monthly, but quarterly, but this new water metering upgrade project should resolve these issues and have us 100%.
Will the new meters have automatic, you don't have to go out and read them, they'll be, there's something like the power,
Smart meters.
smart meters, right?
We're looking at multiple options. Many municipalities, especially rural municipalities, go with what's called drive-by radio read systems, where a municipal vehicle would drive around quarterly and they can pick up about 200 meters. So that's one option. We did we're putting this contract out as a request for proposals, though, so we've requested for options as well for AMI or cellular reading as well, which would give you that real-time data that you're talking about, similar to a power meter. So either option we're looking at, and hopefully we'll get responses related to both.
Yeah, I think it's important if we go that route. Okay.
Okay, carry on then.
I have one other thing, but I'll let it go for now. Thanks.
Okay. Any other questions, comments on our financial statements on that motion to accept those? Seeing none, we'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Aye. Against? Motion carried. Thank you very much, Heather.
Thank you. And if I may, I'd like to thank Karen for all of her years of helping us with this. Our job is made so much easier by all the help that Karen's able to provide us when we come and disrupt everybody with our audit.
We certainly appreciate her work as well as yours. So now we'll move on to Mr. Scott Hayman, who's going to give us a presentation on his problems, I guess, as he's encountered. I know him and I have discussed them before. That was quite a few years ago. So, Scott, you go ahead and you can take a seat there, and Adam will get you going.
That's on now?
They're out there now.
Yep.
So my name's Scott Hayman. I'm in the process of developing a subdivision in Mount William, where I live. And the reason I am here today is to get answers to why I'm not able to get back a portion of my surety that I had paid for the water and sewer install. The process of this development started in 2015, and at no fault of mine, the process has dragged on since that time. The first portion of the water and sewer was installed in December of 2021. There was no service agreement in place until around December 2024, at which time there was a surety amount that we all agreed upon, me and the municipality. March and April of 2025, the remainder of the water and sewer was installed. All tests were completed by my engineer, and reports were sent to the municipality, to Logan. On January 9th of 2026, I had a meeting with Mr. McDowell requesting a portion of the surety be returned. On January 13th, 2026, I received a response by email from Mr. McDowell. My response to the email is either I was intentionally misled by the email, or the one thing they were supposed to review, they never did, So my question is, who did the review, and how did they come to the position that they will not give me part of my surety back? And I sent out things, and as my conversation with Mr. McDowell on January 23rd, he stated to me he had no problem releasing a portion of the surety as long as council does not have a problem with it. And we are here today because I haven't got no answers.
Okay, thank you, Scott, and I'll let Mr. McDowell, I guess, respond and see what the other side of the story is here.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Thanks, Scott.
Yeah.
We have been talking through this project for several years, and then we ended up, as Mr. Hayman mentioned, coming to a servicing agreement at the end of 2024. So I think in many ways, we're on a better path than we were, in that we had a plan going forward. Mr. Hayman, rather, sorry, his desires to get a portion of the surety back. At the time that we developed the surety amount back in the end of 2024, the surety is meant to basically guard the municipality against, if the work were never completed, because this is a takeover of lands and infrastructure by the municipality. The municipality would be taking over the road and the water and sewer infrastructure that's being installed. A portion of that had been installed at that time at 2024, and the surety value is 125% of that remaining construction cost estimate that we had back and forth with Mr. Hayman and his engineer, and came to an agreement on what that amount was. So fundamentally, the question is, would we return a portion of the surety that's been taken or held in the meantime to release back to Mr. Hayman and his development group? Brian and I had reviewed this with our solicitor, and in my experience, I've never seen partial sureties returned. And our lawyer, I think, backed us up and said that he also didn't believe that it would be normal practice to return that portion of that surety. But that's ultimately the question here, is based on the work that has been completed since the end of 2024, that was the basis of the cost estimate that we had to develop that surety. Would the municipal council be open, I guess, to returning a portion of that surety? So fundamentally, that's the question that's being asked. We don't have a problem thus far with the work that's been completed. However, the road, from our mentality, isn't at this point ready to be turned over. My understanding, and Mr. Hayman can correct me if I'm wrong, is that you're stating that the water and sewer infrastructure are completely installed, and that's a big expense, and you believe that that's meaningful.
And the road's in. It's just, the only thing that's not done is the paving.
Yeah.
The only reason the paving's not done is I was gonna do a portion of it this year, and wait. My second phase of this project goes alongside partially of what has to be paved, which I'm trying to hang on to the last minute to extend the rest of the water and sewer into the last 10 lots. So I don't really want to pave it prematurely and then dig up alongside of it to extend into another 10 more lots. As you can see on my thing there, after, I think it's what color is it? Let me see it a little. So after the pink, that phase is the second phase, but the road is actually in that phase that has to be paved.
And just for some additional background information, at the time that the first phase of the subdivision was approved, it was conditional on the servicing agreement being signed, which it was, and that allowed for the portions within the green and yellow areas to be subdivided out and to be built upon. There are currently multiple homes under construction. So that was why we had to get a servicing agreement together at that point, because it's meant to be a municipal road. But we did have the understanding, as Mr. Hayman's mentioned, that there would be a phase two at some point. But But that was why we did what we did at the time. Under our current rules with our subdivision bylaw, we have to take a surety amount to cover any costs that could be incurred if Mr. Hayman and his group weren't able to complete the project. So that's where the 125% comes from. But that was at the time in order to complete the subdivision so that he could formally subdivide these lots, sell them, build upon them, and such.
I don't think we still have come to my quote question though. In your own bylaws, it says that the engineer, if he determines that it's substantially complete, they can release partial payment of the surety back to me, which is I got off your website. And the email I've received from you guys told me that was can't happen. So I'm kind of wondering who's misleading me here on this subject. I think in my papers there it shows you that's from your guys' website. It's F. If you read F, clause F, that's off of your website.
Oh, sorry, am I on? Yeah, so, again, through you, Mr. Chair, the intention was not to mislead Mr. Hayman. It's just not, it's customary, in my opinion, that, and I think in our review with CAO and our lawyer, that the partial payments not be returned, despite what it says in section F, that the municipality may, in its sole discretion, return a portion of the performance surety. And as we've stated, if that's something that this council wants to entertain, I think we can, Brian, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we can certainly entertain it, but that was where we came to that determination from.
Yes, but that was not in your email though.
Right.
Your email stated that was not, that you couldn't do that. If you read the email, I got the
Yep.
email in there too, and if you read it out loud and tell us what it says.
I think they can read it. No, I understand what you're saying. Yeah. So I guess we'll leave it up to the councilors to.
Okay, I'm going to open it up for questions here, in case anybody, it's a little confusing unless you've been involved, as you folks have been, but it's over whether a partial return of the surety is something that should be done here or not. We generally, rely on our staff to, let us know if these things are what should be done or not. So, they check with the legal authorities and whatnot, and so I'm not saying who's right or wrong here. I'm just saying that we do rely on staff to make those decisions largely, but I want to open it up for questions. If anybody has any questions for clarification, go ahead, Councillor Palmer. Or wait, now, did I get somebody? Larry, sorry, Councillor Turner. I don't think you look at the screen.
Thank you, Warden. I've been up to visit Mr. Hayman a number of times on this issue. And first of all, I'd like to applaud him for taking the initiative to put that subdivision up on Mount William Road. It's going to be a considerable asset. The homes that he's building in that particular subdivision are really well done. And there's going to be a considerable amount of taxes that are going to be taken from those properties that are being built up there. I know that some of the particulars are not being met in terms of completion. His argument regarding doing the paving and then having to dig it up again to put more infrastructure up there, I think that's a legitimate argument. I think that he has pretty substantial plans to make this subdivision even bigger than it is right now. So if anybody's interested, take a drive up in there. You'll see some really nice homes up in there. So there's going to be considerable taxes garnered from this subdivision, and I understand his confusion, I guess, between what he has on the email and the performance surety that's in our policy, whereas where the municipal engineer determines that the work is substantially complete. In my consideration, it is substantially complete. There is another phase that's going to be done. And then the municipality may, in its sole discretion, return a portion of performance. So I guess my question is, you paid 125%. What particular percentage are you looking to have back from this surety?
I'm looking to have back everything besides the paving, which
Okay, can you give us a number on that?
probably close to 100,000. The
So-
paving was.
The payment was 100
was
and
40.
140,000?
No, the paving's 40, but you have to put the 25% plus another 10% for the whole back part of it.
Okay, so the number you're looking back, to get back is $100,000,
Roughly, whatever.
roughly?
Yeah.
Okay,
I feel like the first part, like the first phase that's been in since 2021, it's past the 2 years of, like in your guys' agreements, is 2 years of warranty. It's not my fault that I didn't get a service agreement done back in 2021 so that I could have the 2 years already gone. It was up to the council, or up to the county that drug their heels to get me my service agreement.
okay. Thank you.
Okay, now Councillor Palmer.
Thank you, Warden. Just trying to understand this because this is new to most of us.
Yeah.
Is the whole road completed, including the cul-de-sac?
Yes.
It is, okay. And then the water and sewer is the yellow and the green line?
Yes.
It's completed to that point,
Yes.
okay? And then it's gravelled, it's brought up to our standard for
Yeah.
as gravels go and everything like that?
Yes.
So it's all ready for paving?
Yes.
It is, okay. How many lots are included in that first section?
7.
7, and there's 10 in the following section?
Yeah. There's 4 houses on the first phase now.
Okay. And so when are you looking at doing the second phase?
Well, I was hoping to get my money back to put the rest of the water and sewer in so that I could finish the roads off.
And then have it paved?
And then start the second phase. Like, the second phase is basically just a matter of, second phase is basically complete because there'll be no road to build. It's just,
It's
once I get
just a
the
matter
infrastructure.
of extending the water and sewer?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Now that's it for me, thanks.
Okay. Councillor Boyles.
Yeah, thanks for coming. Just wanted to, it's all new to me here,
Yeah.
what you're talking about. So what was the agreement? What, like, you must have come down to an agreement at one time and said, okay, this is what we're willing to do, and you say what you're willing to do. Can you tell us what roughly the agreement was?
Basically that I had to put the water and sewer in and pave the road for them, in order for the county to take over the subdivision after that.
And where did the amounts come in at, like for?
We had a discussion between me and Logan and my engineer and stuff.
The amounts are in
They're
the
meant-
package that Mr. Hayman
Yeah.
provided.
The surety,
So that's, and what in part F there too, right? When it said where it says may, why would, what's may in there for? What is it, there are reasons for sometimes it's not being, or why is there a may?
Go ahead, Logan.
Thank you, and thank you, Councillor Boyles, for the question. It says may, in my opinion, because that, like where it says any other deficiencies that could be considered, we're meant to hold on to the warranty as well. I also want to point out though that a big part of this is stating that it's determinant on when the municipal engineer believes that the work has been substantially complete. So I guess that's part of what's being asked is it substantially complete at this point? So Councillor Turner had mentioned in his opinion that it is. Mr. Hayman has indicated when he intends to do the paving. I would think that the paving should be included in the substantial completion.
then that's complete.
Then that would be
Then that's complete.
complete.
If the pavement's included in it, that's the last thing left to do. So
Well,
then there's no substantial, it's only either complete or it's not complete.
Or could, I mean, there are other items too. It could be the topsoil and
Wow.
sod that's not complete, right? So,
But there is.
Speak to the chair, please. Speak through the chair.
Oh,
Yeah.
what is it?
We don't need cross conversation. You
Oh,
can speak
sorry.
through the chair. If you've got something to say to him or he has
Yeah.
something to say, it needs
Okay,
to
well,
go
then
through
it's
the
not
chair.
if the paving is not substantial, then there's nothing left. So then it's either, it's all complete, or if it's not complete, there's no substantial.
So but the sewer and water, is that part of, that needs to be
No,
completed
it's
yet?
not- It's all in.
It's all in, all of it.
The last thing to do was pave. So if he's saying paving is not gonna, the paving has to be part of it to be substantially complete, then it's either gotta be complete or it's not complete. There's no substantial,
Okay, and it's,
as far as I can understand.
Again, I'll let Logan speak to that because, you know, counselors are hearing two different things here. I guess, you know, if the paving is the only thing left, but it is at the discretion of the engineer what substantially complete is. So if he doesn't feel it's substantially complete, then, you know, we would have to overrule our engineer to change that. So I think we need to hear what is the difference between, you know, what you're saying is that paving was done, that's all there's left, and what Mr. McDowell is saying. There seems to be a difference here somewhere. Can you address that, Laurie?
I think that with a subtotal, with a total surety value of $153,506, that approximately $40,000 for asphalt is substantial and would be required to be done to make this substantially complete.
So your stand is still that the paving would have to be done before it's substantially complete?
Yes.
Okay. And on the other hand, you know, I don't know where we go with this, Mr. Hayman. You're saying that all that's left is the paving, and yet 40,000 for the asphalt. Seems to be something missing here, but I'm not sure what it is. Oh, sorry, Peter.
Oh, no,
Did
yeah, I
cut you
wonder
off?
what was going on. I
Oh,
turned
sorry
around and
about that.
asked me, and all of a sudden you
Well,
got
it went to
a whole
Logan
new
and
thing
then-
going here.
And then there was the back and forth that I had to
Yeah.
stop. So.
Yeah,
Sorry
no,
about
I was just trying to get more familiar with it. I mean, I won't tell you that I'm completely, but as you say, from what's here and everything, you know, to look at and everything, and I hope you can get it all straightened out. Thank you.
Okay, now I better check my screen. So we got Deputy Warden Murray, you're next.
Thank you. I'm just trying to learn on this too, and Randy asked most of the questions, but the paving is the only thing left to do, except for your second phase.
Yes,
So the paving, does that include the whole road, the cul-de-sac and everything?
yes.
So why would we want that paved if you'd have to dig it back up? I don't understand that.
I don't
That's a
either.
question I'd like to have answered.
At the time when this subdivision and this servicing agreement was put together, Mr. Hayman, we had different correspondence. Mr. Hayman was considering options to potentially extend the road and come up with a different configuration, so it wouldn't have been a cul-de-sac in the end. And he also had considerations for how the remaining lots in phase 2 would ultimately be serviced. And of course, the lot fabric would have changed had the road extended. Like the lots would have been laid out differently had the road been extended. So we had approved this work and the 125% surety based on the work that was expected to be done at the time. But now we understand that Mr. Hayman plans to complete the cul-de-sac, does not intend to carry on the road any farther. And that brings us back to these values. Not sure if that makes sense or not.
I guess I don't understand why we couldn't work with him on phases. I guess that was in the first agreement, I understand that, but we can't do another agreement of some sort once that one's in place?
We can always come to an agreement. Right now, we have a 5-year turnaround time from the time of the signing of the last agreement. Those were the terms that we came up with to complete that work. If there's a change to how the work is intended to be done, or how much infrastructure is intended to be constructed as part of the overall project, then we can certainly, revise the agreement or something in that regard. The agreement that we had come to at the time was based on our best understanding and Mr. Hayman's best understanding of the project at the time.
I understand that, but things do change.
Yes,
I
of
know all
course,
this
yeah.
life, so
So we'd be happy to work,
that's
happy
what
to
I
work
would
with
like to see
yeah.
it happen. Thank you.
Okay, and Councillor McKeel.
Thank you very much, Mr. Warden. I guess I have a couple questions. Deputy Warden took my main point there, and I'm glad that he asked that, so thank you. Through you, Mr. Warden, my question is to Logan. You had mentioned in conversation tonight that right now the road is up to municipal standards.
No, I'm sorry. The water and sewer is up to municipal standards, and the graveling to this point, prior to the asphalt, is up to municipal standards, but we're still missing those portions of the road that need to be paved.
I'm confused. I didn't think paving was part of our municipal standard. I thought we had to have so much gravel and so much.
No, in serviced areas,
has
we
to
do
be-
require paving.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So I would agree that the word substantially complete, substantially doesn't mean fully complete, right? It should be either be complete or not. I think that word is very misleading, and I can see how it can be interpreted differently on that. I too would agree. I think we are trying to, housing is a big buzzword right now. We're trying to facilitate housing in this, in our municipality. It seems like, I don't know the history of this. This is all new to me tonight, but it seems like there's been a lot of things that have gone maybe sideways from the get-go since this started. It seems like it's been an awful long process, and things may not have gone as smoothly as maybe they should have. And I would agree that I don't think that road should be paved. It doesn't make sense financially or logically to me to pave that whole road and then dig it up and put more sewer in there and water. I don't know. I don't know much about that business, I'll be honest, but even to me, that doesn't make sense. I would really like us to work with Mr. Hayman. He's put, this is a lot of money and a lot of development in our county, and we'd like to see more and have the reputation that we want to help developers and help others. Yes, we have a set of rules that we have to abide by, and I think that's very, very important. But I think that this, I think that in my opinion, that we should work with Mr. Hayman on this. Thank you.
I'll say something too. I have another 160 lots across the road that I'm starting to develop too, for a subdivision. And
Okay.
I'm not even sure I even want to do it now with the way that I'm being treated, I feel.
Okay, I'm gonna take Joe next online. Joe has a question. Go ahead, Joe.
Yes, so this first subdivision is almost finished, and the second one will require a new sorority, will it, Logan?
Go ahead, Logan.
The first portion of the road, sorry, I'm not sure if I totally understand the question, Councillor McDonald, but this project was broken up into 2 phases. And I don't think we're really talking about tearing up a portion of paved road. We could probably work with Mr. Hayman on paving up to the end of the infrastructure that's been installed, the water and sewer, and perhaps not including the cul-de-sac end or something like that. But the cul-de-sac end and the end of the cul-de-sac, like the area beyond the pink that's shown in Mr. Hayman's sketch, and the phase 2 proposed subdivision would be the next phase of the work, and that's outside of the scope really of this agreement, those quotes that we had put together. So I don't think the municipality has any intention of forcing Mr. Hayman to pave and then tear up and then put more infrastructure in. I think what we're looking for is really that the phase 1 work, and then working with him on the phase 2 as well. So I'm not sure if that answers your question,
Does that
Councillor
answer
McDonald.
your question, Joe, or not?
Just that, so on the second phase of this subdivision, is there gonna be another sorority for that completion? Or is it, if we give this first half back, is there no security for the county that says that this has to be properly done too?
Thanks for the question, Councillor McDonald. I guess it would depend on what the phase 2 subdivision application ultimately looked like. But, you know, what we're doing is, the reason for the surety is for the municipality to have protection when we're looking to take over infrastructure, such as roads and water and sewer infrastructure. So, you know, for all we know, the next phase could include, you know, water and sewer laterals, but no mains that the municipality will own, or something like that. We'll need to dive into that, I think, when Mr. Hayman comes for his phase 2 subdivision, but the vast majority of the work would be done before that. So it would just come down to whether or not we believe there's a need at that point to have a surety based on what the subdivision application comes in looking like.
Okay, you all right, Joe?
Yes, yeah, great, thank you.
Yeah, okay, now, figure where was Councillor Palmer? Were you up again? Yep, the green light's flashing.
Yeah, I just got a couple little questions here. So the municipality won't take over the road until phase 2 is completed. Is that the case, Evan?
No, we would potentially take over the road. We would take over the road based on the terms of the servicing agreement that we have, which doesn't include phase 2.
Even though it's not paved.
No, it has to be paid.
No, it would need to be paved.
So the thing is, you'd have to pave the cul-de-sac too, in order to,
Yeah.
for
I
us
mean,
to take over the road. There's no turn-in area in that first phase, right?
Yeah,
So-
I think, I mean, we might be able to work, and sorry, through you, Mr. Chair, we might be able to work through, you know, a substantially complete designation based on just the cul-de-sac being remaining, or something like, remaining unpaved, something like that, prior to him going after his phase 2. But the phase 2 subdivision, you know, if Mr. Hayman were to leave the remainder of the lot that's beyond the pink that's shown here, excluding the cul-de-sac, you know, and, you know, it's not up for us to say what he may or may not wish to do on the property, but it's a, you know, you have a developable lot that's still there on the end now, if he were to wish to come through some different agreement, or work on an apartment or multi-unit development or something like that. You know, I think it's a little bit premature to speak about the phase 2, and like, this is a conceptual phase 2, and that's great, and that's something we've chatted about at different times, but coming into what the actual phase 2 subdivision looks like, I think is a little bit premature until we know exactly what.
So what's the length of this phase, or of the whole road?
What are we, 250 meters? 230 meters, I guess.
30 meters?
Yeah.
What's the estimated cost to pave the whole thing?
40,000 is the paving portion. Yeah.
Man, I was in that construction business for 38 years, and we did a little, I don't know what cost paving done, 40,000 will pave you the end, an apron at the end. I know that for a fact, so. We just had a little paving done out the rink, it was $33,000, and it's only 60 feet by 18 feet. So paving is very costly, so. So the width of the road is gonna be 6.2 or 6.1? What's our standard?
Sorry, just bear with me for 1 second. This has a slightly modified cross-section because a portion of it is curbed, but most of it is ditched. Sorry. Sorry, just bear with me. There we go. So Mr. Hayman, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe your road follows our Class 2 standard, which calls for a 6-meter paved surface, correct?
Yeah, I think we're a little over that,
Yeah.
Okay.
26 feet.
So, see, this is my concern is, if we don't pave that first section of the phase, and let's say second phase doesn't go, then those residents that are building on that road will come back to us, similar to what they did in Councillor Thompson area, and say, listen, part of your policy is to have that road paved. And if it's And if we don't have anything to protect us, then we'll be putting up the full cost. So that's my concern, because I know it's hard to develop, it costs a lot of money to develop, but I know once you go to pave that, it's gonna be a lot more than what you think it is, and it's going to, it'll end up on us if that second phase doesn't go. I can see it coming back to this council, so, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Palmer, and now we have Councillor Wadden.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I guess I'm kind of lined up with what Randy just said. My concern was what the risk was to the county. And obviously, I have the same concerns. I mean, I want to see the development happen in the county, that's for sure, and I don't want, to be disappointed or not continue with the subdivisions, but at the same time, it's a risk to the council, to the county that I'd be concerned with.
Okay, thank you, and Councillor Bailey.
Thank you, Warden. Scott, you said that this project started in 2021, and then the service agreement wasn't signed, so you lost out in 2 years warranty. So if anything happened for those 2 years, or after those 2 years, and I presume that, when was the service grant agreement signed?
December of 2024.
December 2024. So that warranty is your own warranty, or a warranty that you have. I guess what I'm getting at is the fact that now if something happens to your infrastructure that you put in, there's no warranty on it. Is that, like, I guess I don't understand how you lost the 2 years because of the service agreement, when the service agreement was signed, did the warranty kick in then?
I'm assuming that's what they'll use, like, they will probably assume, but they'll start the date from the service agreement signature, even though the stuff was installed 2.5 years, for 2.5 years before the service agreement was signed.
Okay.
I'm assuming that's how it's gonna work.
Okay, okay. I'm all in favor of housing development going on in the county, and I have to remind this council, I took a big risk on a $100 million project. 100,000 don't seem that much. Thanks.
Can I say one more thing too?
Go ahead, Scott.
So, not only, so in order to start the sewer back in November of 2021, I had to give the municipality $2,500 for them to be able to buy a permit from the DOT in order to hook the sewer into the Mount William Road. And I've been asking for that since then, and I haven't had a response about it.
Okay, well, let's stay on the bigger issue here for now.
It's
I know-
$2,500.
I know you want to get it looked after, but I want to try and bring this to some type of conclusion because we're moving on here in time.
Yeah.
And I think those who wanted to have said their piece, and there's different angles here, I guess, to whether to work out a second agreement. But it's Councillor Palmer's point is right on, that I agree that $40,000 isn't going to make much effect on that paving, any prices I've heard lately. So the whole idea from the first of having a deposit or surety or whatever was the county didn't get stuck anymore like it used to with having to finish the road because the people came to us and the developer wasn't here anymore. And so that's when that rule was put in, that there had to be, and we've had others come before council or written letters or whatever, not wanting to put the surety up for sure, and that's become a major hang-up. But if we don't, we run the risk of what Randy said. So I'm looking for some direction to go in here, and is it agreeable that we let Mr. Hayman and Logan try and work something out here, or do you want to? I don't agree with us making the decision. It should be made by staff. But if we want to, somebody wants to make a motion to do something different than that, that's fine too. But go ahead, Councillor Palmer.
I'd like to make a motion to go in camera to discuss what our solicitor.
Discuss with our solicitor?
No, to discuss what our solicitor said to our staff.
Okay, well, we can go in camera if somebody wants to make that motion. Do you make a motion to
I
go
made
in
the
camera?
motion.
Okay, the seconder? Councillor Thompson, all those in favor? Aye. Okay, we'll go in camera. Ken? Thank you. That took a little longer than expected.
Sure.
But it was important that we hear from what our legal advice was. So we don't make decisions here tonight on, when anybody comes, no matter who it is, group or whatever. We've had a policy for a long while of not making decisions until we've had a chance to mull it over and talk about it some, and at our next, committee meetings, there'll be a decision then. But I think what I hear from counselors is they want to support developers, and they understand, the position that you're caught in. But at the same time, you have to understand that we're trying to protect all the taxpayers of the county and make sure that we look at our legal advice, we look at everything else, we look at what our engineer tells us, but don't feel unheard. We have, that's the message I got when we were here, is that, people hear you and they want to help developers, and we're gonna let you and Logan work together, and Logan, knowing what he heard from us, hopefully something can be worked out that you can get at least, not all the money you want back at once maybe, but at least maybe some of it. But we let you and Logan, I think you're working together, and I think coming here tonight has at least given Logan a chance to hear where counselors are at on this. So appreciate you coming in.
Yeah, great. Well, I guess that's it.
Thank you, Scott.
No, appreciate it. Thanks.
Okay, we should move right along here. The next item is the New Scotland Business Park report. Does anybody have any questions on the New Scotland Business Park report? Things are moving along, I think, but everything is slow, well, very slow in the winter, of course, but go ahead, Councillor Dewar.
Thank you, Mr. Warden. I was reading something in the news the other day about they were calling it the New Glasgow Industrial Park. Is that this park, or is they said about the vacant lots and stuff, and that they were still there and had measurements and stuff for things, but I wasn't just sure if they knew that it was called the New Scotland. So they must be talking about the other part of that in Park Street, are they?
It could be, but the others here know as much as me or more, but I think New Scotland lots are pretty all sold. Maybe
Okay.
1.5 acre lot left, so there wouldn't be much showing.
There's a little bit left. So, okay, so the other night at the meeting, it was 2017 since we had much of a report, and then they said maybe 2019. This is 2026. There's quite a gap there, and it was talked about at the audit meeting, and likely maybe I should be letting Councillor Wadden talk about it, but it seemed like at first that's all we heard, and the last while we heard absolutely nothing. And there's 6 years, there's 7 years that nobody's answerable and people are still getting paid, and I think it's worth investigating a little more about it. But that's just
You
my.
want to comment on that, Councillor Wadden? It did come up, and I think it was certainly agreed that we had to look into it and find out how come we got no financial statements.
Yeah, I thought we gave that directive, so that's
Yeah.
basically took back to our CAO, but definitely we should have some kind of financial report from that business park.
But it is.
But I think it's
good
New
to-
Glasgow that has to do it, correct, Brian? Like, it should come from New Glasgow? Are they the ones that are doing the financials?
Correct, yeah. I did them up until
Yes, yeah.
2017 or whatever it was.
There seems to have been somebody dropped the ball somewhere, it appears, because there are no financial statements coming since then. There are reports coming on how sales are going and everything, just like tonight, but there's a lack of financial statements, so staff is going to look into that one. So if there's no further questions on that, we'll move along to the partnership, the Pictou County Partnership Quarterly Report. So that's there for your perusal. Are there any questions on that report? Hearing none, we'll move right along. The business items requiring action. Councillor McKeel, you're going to take that first one for District 1?
Thank you, Mr. Warden. Be it resolved by the municipality of the County of Pictou approves the following municipal service grants for District 1. Sutherland River and District Community Association, $3,000 for hall renovations, dated at Pictou, Nova Scotia, the 2nd day of February 2026, signed by myself, Councillor Darla McKeel, and seconded by Councillor Deborah Wadden.
Okay, you've heard the reading of the resolution to do with the municipal service grant for Sutherland River and District Community Association for $3,000. It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions or concerns? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carried. We'll move right along to resolution from District 10 Municipal Service Grant. Councillor Palmer. Waiting for the red.
Thank you, Warden. Resolution, be it resolved by the municipality of the County of Pictou, approve the following municipal service grant for District 10. McPherson's Mills Community Center, $4,000 for septic system repairs. Dated Pictou, Nova Scotia, the 2nd day of February 2026. Moved by myself, Councillor Randy Palmer, and seconded by Deputy Warden Wayne Murray.
So second?
Okay, you've heard the reading of the resolution for District 10, McPherson's Mills Community Center, $4,000. Are there any, it's been moved and seconded, are there any questions or concerns? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carried. Okay, and the next one is Councillor Wadden, District 2 Community Connectivity Event Fund.
Thank you, Mr. Warden. Be it resolved, the municipality of the County of Pictou approves the following community connectivity event grant. District 2 Little Harbor Community Hall, $1,500 for a District 2 Family Day. Dated Pictou, Nova Scotia, the 2nd day of February 2026. Signed by myself, Councillor Deborah Wadden, and seconded by Councillor Donnie Barker.
Okay, you've heard the reading of the resolution for the Little Harbor Community Hall Family Day Connectivity Fund, $1,500, moved and seconded. Any questions or concerns? Hearing none, all those in favor? Against? Motion carried. And now Councillor Palmer has one on tax write-offs.
Thank you, Warden. Resolution, be it resolved, the municipality of County Pictou approve the following write-off on taxes, the same having been reviewed and approved by the Financial Service Committee. Account number 0529826, Catherine McKay, $36.95. Reason was deactivated per land registry, no PID associated with assessment, all lands contained in other assessments. Account number 088324447, John Duggins, $94.87, mobile house demolished. Account number 034344419, Philip Murray, $11.21 for gravel pit assessment. Account number 105-57461, Marion Fraser, $236.70. House burned in 2018. Balance at that time was $157.88. Account never went inactive, so the penalty continued to be applied. Account number 088333370, Cheryl Cross, $929.27, inactive in 2019 roll. Error rates were billed in 2020 and 2021 as the account was never made inactive. Penalty continued to be applied to the account. Account number 00117722, estate of Annie Arnold, $1,440.54, inactive since 2018, never made inactive in the system, continued to accumulate interest, imported into Diamond as large balance owing and billing based on 2000 assessment until 2017, for a total of $2,749.64, dated Pictou, Nova Scotia, the 2nd day of February 2026. Moved by myself, Councillor Randy Palmer, and seconded by Deputy Warden Wayne Murray.
So second?
Okay, heard the reading of the resolution on tax write-offs, totaling $2,749.64. So that's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions on the tax write-offs? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carried. And the Councillor Wadden's going to speak on strategic planning, part 2.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I had a kind of a seniors moment because I was thinking, what was that about? But now I know what it is. The second part, having municipal affairs come back and do that second part for our strategic plan. I just wonder if there's any agreement from council to go ahead and plan that.
Okay, that's the proposal. I guess I assumed maybe that was going to happen anyway, but that's all right. We need to. Pardon me? Oh, he said he hoped so because he already made the request.
Oh, okay, good.
But
That's
I don't know in terms of what you thought of what part 1 was, or what, what date or whatever. I guess it's, are they going to suggest dates, and Brian, to you, or how's that work?
Okay.
It's their calendar.
Yeah, their calendar is going to determine it, and then we have to look at, we have a lot of meetings coming up here in this month, for sure. Because the last week of February is all the agricultural meetings every night, I think, and so when do you think that might happen?
I suggested, realistically, just looking at our calendar, we're looking March.
Yeah. Well, that's fine. I just wondered if it was on the radar.
Yeah.
That's okay, thank you.
And I think it was a good start, but if we don't finish it, it doesn't have much meaning to it. Where we go after that, it depends on us, I guess. But no, I think it was a good start, and it was only a one-man show too. It was supposed to be 2, so. But hopefully we can hit a night, where everybody can be here, and that's always important, or as many as possible, I guess I should say. But thank you for bringing it up anyway, Councillor Wadden. Now, under deferred business.
You got Randy.
Oh, sorry, Randy off in the corner there. Go ahead, Councillor Palmer.
Just on that, are we going to have our planning session that we usually have we usually had in January? Are we going to have that Saturday session, or I see February is booked up pretty solid, so.
I think the idea, when we go back, we came forward with a suggestion of having that, and it was felt maybe that we should do these sessions first, both these 2, and then have ours after that. I realize it's putting it off later than normal, but that was sort of the plan, that maybe coming out of that, we'll have some ideas, some guidance and stuff to bring us forward to our own session.
Yeah, no, I was just wondering if we won't have.
I think we'll still have it for sure, and if everybody's on side, and hopefully there. Okay, now I'll move on to the deferred business, which is the Dreamery Gardens project tax receipts. Do we need an official motion? Is that what we're looking for? Or?
No, there's no, it's just, it's there until we have something to report, bring forward.
Seems to have slowed down some, especially cherries living up in Amherst right at the moment, so but it is moving. We did have a discussion on it last week, and so it should soon be, the agreement should soon be sent to
Okay, so it's just staying on there, so we won't forget about it, is it?
Exactly. Yep.
Okay. Motions of reconsideration. Are there any motions of reconsideration? Not seeing any. And community announcements. What do we have this evening for community announcements? Mid-January. No, it's not mid-January, we're into February. Any community announcements? Go ahead, Councillor Thompson.
Ronnie was first.
Oh, he's gonna get you on here in a minute.
Ronnie was first.
Oh, okay, sorry, I missed you, Ronnie, you're first.
Or was that a misclick?
Just for council's information, Thursday and Friday in the River John area, we had two people going door to door into businesses, trying to sell the solar panels, and they were using municipality's name as a reference to, I don't know if it was the program that we have going or what, but they were using, they said that they were I don't know exactly what the exact word was that the person told me, but anyway, it was more that they were working through the municipality. So just to let you know that scam is on the.
Be watching for it. Sue-Ann, have you got something on that?
Yeah, I received an email Friday night from somebody in your area, I believe, asking the similar question. And so I checked with Julian at Switch, that does our Switch programming, to see if they had anybody in the area, because we don't do door-to-door. And he said he didn't have anyone, but he says sometimes the company Sunkist does go door-to-door, and they do promote our loan program. So I don't know, he couldn't confirm it was them or not, or if it was a scam, so.
The ones that called me on to it didn't say a name.
Yeah.
So one, the car was Milford.
Which makes you wonder. Okay, and now Councillor Thompson.
I'm going to give a shout out to a couple community centers in District 11. The Bridgeville Hall is now a hub of exercise classes. It's fabulous. There's seniors chair exercise classes twice a week. There's actually 2 fitness instructors used in the building for yoga. And also down in Churchville, they're coming along really well as far as their activities are going. They have an event tomorrow out there. They're hosting the Pictou County Community Health Center. There's a health and wellness session with Nova Scotia's Health Northern Zone, and there's dietitians, pharmacists, occupational therapists there, and there's a light lunch provided. It's at the Churchville Hall at 1054 Irish Mountain Road, and that is from 10:30 until 1:30 tomorrow. And I'm highlighting these 2 community centers. They were part of the Net Zero project, and both of these centers were seasonal halls. And now that they've tackled their energy costs, they're taking the big leap and they're staying open all year round. And both of them are seeing that those community centers do get used. They are important pieces of infrastructure in our communities. I always say that the community centers in our area are like those Swiss Army knives, as far as they provide a lot of different things to a community, whether it's feeding them or hosting music or exercise. So kudos to Bridgeville and Churchville for shining a light.
Okay, thank you. And Deputy Warden Murray.
Thank you, Mr. Warden. Scottsburn Recreation is having their winter carnival this weekend. So you can go on their website and see all the things they're having. I know they're having a breakfast at the fire hall Saturday morning and a bean supper in the afternoon that the 4-H is putting on, plus a lot of other activities. And I think our internet people are going to be there giving out some hot chocolate, I believe. So go on the website and see what you like and join us in Scottsburn. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Are there any further community announcements this evening? Joe? Go ahead, Joe.
Yes, this Saturday night at 7 p.m. at the River Community Center, there's going to be trivia. And on the 21st of this month, the Lismore Community Center is going to have a breakfast from 8 to 10 a.m. And after that, at 9:30, the tickets for the wintertime review are on sale. Thank you.
Okay. That's the 21st. Thank you for that, Joe. Any further community announcements? I have a couple quick ones that aren't in my area, but they involve the whole council. I did receive a letter today from the Order of Nova Scotia, and I will let Adam distribute it to people, but they're basically looking for nominations for the Order of Nova Scotia. And there is a deadline there. I believe it's Thursday, April, no, that's the day they're going to present them, I think. Anyway, I will let, rather than mix you all up, I will let Adam, I'll send this to him and let him distribute to everybody. So that's anybody in your communities or anywhere in Pictou County that you feel is worthy of the Order of Nova Scotia. That's quite important. It started, it does say here, it's celebrating its 25th anniversary this year. And the other one, I was on a what do you call it, computer thing anyway, with Engage Nova Scotia about a week ago now, I suppose. And so they have a big blitz coming on, which they're doing a survey, trying to get as many people in Nova Scotia as possible to return that survey. And we actually do contribute a little bit of money to them to help with their survey work and whatnot. And they claim that it's going to be quite valuable to us in trying to make decisions if we have that data for our area, and it's very specific. It's not just for Pictou County. It breaks it down into very small pieces and tells you here's what your people are thinking on different issues. But it's mainly about quality of life with Danny Graham leading it. And you know, they're a good organization. They do a lot of work. And so what they want us as counselors to do is to promote this to people. It's going to come to everybody in the mail. So everybody's going to have one. It's just how many people bother filling them out. So they're pushing real hard and trying to get all the councils, but particularly those who are paying a little money into them, to you know, stress to anybody you talk to that it is important you fill it out. It's not just, oh, another survey somebody's doing. So I want to bring that to everybody's attention when you start hearing about it coming in the mail or see your own. Those two things I just wanted to bring up. But if there's no further business here this evening, we'll call the meeting adjourned and watch the roads on the way home.